Hi everybody, all my YouTube friends, including my pottery friends. As you all know, I do pottery and quilting. I quilt in the winter when it's too cold to be having my hands in water, and sometimes I will glaze and fire during the cold months, but during the winter it's just really too cold to be out in an air-conditioned studio. So something I want to show you, this is kind of a popular thing, or it's new to me anyway, is having these slick, I forget what they're called, slick sliders or some kind of, for free motion quilting. It's a piece of plastic that is really slick on one side, and it'll say it's got a repositionable backing on it that's kind of sticky. It isn't very sticky. See how beat up this is? I mean, this came to me like this. There's something very sticky. It looks like it could be, I don't know, tape or something, and then it's all scored up. It's pretty beat up. I'm gonna do a little demo on this, and then I've got two other possibilities for this. I was really disappointed that this, it's centimeters. I was expecting something 22 by like 15 or 17 inches or something like that, and the advertising gave the numbers like that, but it didn't specify that it was centimeters. So I was shocked by that. So this thing is about the size of a piece of typing paper, and I was expecting something much larger, and because this little table that I built is quite a bit bigger, and I was wanting it to use for free motion quilting, and this is just kind of small to be doing that. Got this stuff that we used to call museum putty. So I stuck some putty on the corners of this right here. I didn't bother doing this one because there won't be much action over here. And I put a little piece there, and back here I put another little piece. So I have a sandwich, sort of a sample sandwich built here with some backing inside. This is medium weight backing, and I'm going to test this thing out. I don't know if it'll stay put, but we'll see. I built this little table. I'm going to try to remember where that was. I built this little table. Here's a picture of it, and here are the little legs that I put underneath it, and it's actually made out of foam core, and I've cut it to, I have a video on this too, so you can go and look at that, and I'll show you. But I cut it so that it would fit around the throat of my sewing machine. So I'll stick that back on there. I've got my little quilting gloves ready here, so I'm going to put those on and get going. Now, what I've seen people do on YouTube is they've got this thing all in place. They'll pull up the thread from the bobbin, so you want to have that up because we're going to pull it up through the fabric here in a minute. So I'm going to stick it. Oh, let me turn the machine on. That would help. Well, that's why we couldn't get any light under there, is because we didn't have the sewing machine turned on. With the light on, press your foot down, go into the fabric, and pull up. So get your needle up like that, about 1/2 inch off the ground, and well, now I need to raise the presser foot. There we go. See, I can raise that. Get a pin, and I can do that. And we're going to pull till we get that a little loop of thread up here. So that's what you want. Let me get you close to that. So you see this little loop of thread? That's the bobbin that I pulled up through the fabric right there. So if you get it on this side, you can just pull that up. Ta-da! And then I'm going to stick a pin in it to pull it on through the fabric. So I want both threads on top of the fabric when I start. And that's the way the girls that do the long arm quilting, they will pull, usually, I've seen them pull both threads to the top, and then you can get wherever you want to be there. So I'll shorten that thread. Okay, so we might be ready to put gloves on and do some sewing here. It's a lot of preparation, isn't it? You gotta be ready to rock and roll. I just built this little extension table. I am not an experienced free motion quilter. In fact, the other video was the first time I ever tried it myself, and this will be the second time. And I only did like a little bitty piece. I don't know where it is. Here it is on the floor. Okay. And I did this little piece right here. And I just did let's see, the only recognizable thing in this is that little heart. And that's kind of cute. But mostly I just made a mess. So, but right here, we're just going to try this for the sake of, let's see if you can see, if I do this, okay, I hope you can see that. Every time I try to touch that camera, I have to take my glove off because it operates by the warmth of your hand, I suppose. Okay, so my foot's on the pedal, and I'm gonna just try to keep it steady, and then I'm just gonna move my, probably should not have sewn, whatever, over that thread, but that's okay. So we're gonna go around here, we're gonna go around here. Wow, that's not really sliding too much. And I would, if I was going to do this big time, I'd practice on something that really wasn't real, like an heirloom or something. Oh, that's kind of cute. A little, so how do I get out of there? So we're going to make a little dip, and we're going to make another dip. There's kind of a squishy heart. Okay, this is sticking. This is not slippery as it needs to be. Okay, well, I don't think it is anyway. They advertised them to be slippery slicker thingies, slip and sliders. So let's cut this thread and let's remove the piece, and I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm going to try the other thing I want to show you. Now, the other things I was going to show you are things that you can probably find that you don't have to spend money on. Now, here is this. This is, but as you noticed, I was really having to work to get it to go. I mean, fabric is not slick. If both things were slick, then there we go. Now you can see it better. And that doesn't mean that is not lettering or anything. That's just me squiggling. Okay. All right. So give me a minute and I'll get the other things. Well, I don't know. You might want to watch me do this. So the other thing, I'm going to take this off, move it there, get my putty. If it wasn't for that putty, I think this thing would have moved. I saw Lorena video that she made. Lorena's quilting, and she does long arm stuff, but she was showing this stuff also, and she had some kind of a slick thing, and hers was moving around. It even moved so much she sewed over it, and it kind of ruined it. Well, I don't know, it made a big it made a kind of a mess of the plastic thing, of the slick thing. Now this is a piece of slick, I don't know what it is, but look at there. It's a potato chip bag or some kind of chip bag. I asked my ladies at Quilting to save me their potato chip bags because the inside of the bag and actually the outside of the bag, they're pretty slick. And when you compare it to this thing that had the hole in it, that came in the mail all beat up, it's only slightly slicker than this is. So here we go. We're going to cut a hole in this somewhere. And it could probably be right in there. So let me see if this, no, that isn't going to mark on it. Okay, so I'm going to cut a hole right there. I've got to do that to that other one too, probably. Because there's one other one I'm going to show you here. So I'm not going to get real fussy about how to cut this because potato chip bags are pretty easy to come by. But let's see if I can fold that in half. And mine is going to probably be kind of diamond shaped because my arms don't bend the other way. Okay. So there, that's about the size we need for that needle to go through right there. Okay, now here comes the museum putty. We're going to stick some over here. You can put it underneath this piece of wrapper. You can put it just about anywhere you want it to be. So it kind of goes on there like a piece of chewing gum, sort of like that. So we'll move that out of the way. Let's see, here's the other piece right here. Now this bag is 14 by 20. That's about the size, and that's inches. That's United States inches. That's about the size I expected that other thing to be, but it was a big disappointment because it's like the size of a piece of paper. I don't know. I just think sometimes people just assume that. And it came from Illinois, so I had no clue that it came from any place other than someplace that measured things in inches. Let's see, I got one more piece of putty. We'll put it out here somewhere. Now you could glue this down, and once I figure out which one of these I think is the most satisfactory, I may just permanently attach it to this extension table that I made, this thing. I just may stick it on there like that. So let's get that piece of fabric through there and pull on the, see if I can get my bobbin thread up there. This will also keep you from having to go back and trim a whole lot of little strings off of the back of the quilt if you're actually doing a quilt. If you have all your thread on top, you can you can trim those ends as you go, and when it comes off of here, then you're all ready to rock and roll. Put my gloves back on. I know, this is taking forever. I put a couple of quilting videos up. And I think, because it's mainly a pottery channel, and I do a lot of pottery. Okay, let's see if this will work now. Okay. Let me get to going faster. Well, that works pretty good. I just don't have it anchored down well enough. So let's see if we can make something pretty here. See how it's moving, but it's because I don't have it anchored. But the fabric is sliding just fine, actually. Okay, so now I can, what else do you do when you're doing this? I guess I can turn it around this way and Oh, I like how that works. And I like the fact that I have more space, you know, more surface to fiddle around with. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. I may tape this down, you know, but I want to try that other thing before we do that. So one more thing. I made 2 leaves. Ta-da! Can you see the leaves? Let me get it out from under the needle here. Okay. We'll cut the, can't work with the gloves on. Cut this off, and we'll cut this off. And, oh, isn't that pretty? I made some leaves. That's kind of pretty. Now, okay, so this thing is a potato chip bag, for Pete's sakes. And I like it better than I like this thing I paid $17 for and had it shipped to me and waited for almost 2 weeks before it came. And it was all beat up when it came. Now this potato chip bag is a little bit wrinkled, and I don't care about that. It's still slick. I just need on this one. Now on your table, you could Scotch tape that down. It wouldn't hurt your little lucite table if you got one of those expensive ones. I made mine because I can't spend $250 or $300 on one that's the right size for me. And one thing I want to tell you about these potato chip bags now, woo, my friend brought me a bunch of these, and this is really slick on the outside, and this is really slick. Actually, this shiny part is slicker than this kind of frosty color, and if you could stand it, you could turn that over and you wouldn't have, this is like having a mirror shine back in your eyes if you have the light on. But you could use this on this side, and I don't think it would bother me at all. I'm going to punch a hole in there because most of them are shiny on the inside. Here's a Ruffles one that is frosty on the inside, but I think the outside is slicker than the inside, actually. Probably on this one that I just, well, no, that one's not quite as slick. Anyway, okay, I've got one more thing to show you, and that is this. I got this at the dollar store. Let me back up here. This is one of those planners. It says planner right there. And you got all these squares for a calendar, and over here you've got a little area for notes. But this side of this thing is way slick. So let me get a hole cut in this, and then we'll see how this works. You know, I don't know if you would need lines like this on for any reason, but they're there if you wanted to. But I'm just going to use this whole thing. I'm not going to try to size it down. I'm just going to, and this thing is about, let's see, if this is 14 by 20, this thing is going to be, this planner is going to be about 21 by about 16. So it's a pretty big thing. Well, I guess one thing that this is good for, this deal, is for tracing a hole, right? What a shame. I got ripped off, you guys. I really did. So, okay, so I'm going to slide it all this way. I could only make a mark under there to do that. There we go. So here's this. Okay. About all I could do was make a mark and get the spot, and then I'll cut. I might be more careful with this because I think I might kind of like this big old planner thing here. Okay, let me get some better scissors, because okay, got a hole. That's good. I used to work in a museum, and that's how I know about the museum putty and how they display things. I taught art in a museum school. There we go. Okay. Now let's see how well I did getting it in the right place. All right, there is the little hole is over my little place where the needle goes down right there. Now I cheated a little bit. I put putty, I've got putty underneath it right here, and I've got some right here, and I've got some right here, and I have one piece so back here on the back corner. And this is stiff enough that I think it's not going to be a problem, just for purposes of demonstration. If I wanted to, where's that? If I wanted to make it on here for like a big project, more than just a demo, I would probably stick it down a little better. Okay, so let's try. And my sleeves are in the way too. I've got a jacket on and the sleeves are kind of bulky. All right, well, we didn't do too bad on the leaves. That's like this is like the second and third thing I've ever done in free motion quilting. And I don't see my bobbin thread there, so I'm very proud that those leaves look like leaves. Where's my thread? There it is. I want to get my bobbin thread out. There. Okay, got it. And we're going to go through the fabric, down, and pull up the thread. Ping. And then we're going to I'm going to also have to anchor this table a little bit with some putty if I was going to use it, you know, for a actual project. I would put some putty underneath the legs of it. And in fact, here's a piece of putty. I might just stick that under there now, just to keep it from wiggling around. You don't want wiggles when you're trying to do some serious free motion quilting, right? All right, so here we go. I'm gonna squiggle. Oh my God, this works better than any of it. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna scoop right over here. This slides better than the thing I paid $17 for. Oh my gosh, I feel like such a dope. So I could probably, there's a little Pac-Man thing. Whee! Oh, this isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. This slides around so well, you guys. Look at that. Look how that slides. And the fact that it's kind of stiff is great. I love it. I love it. Okay. The experiment is over. Let me pull this up. Now the trick is about, I guess it's all about whether it'll slide, right? I mean, because you have to be able to move the fabric around to get the motion and everything. But here's the part that I did on this planner thing. And guess what, you guys? It only cost $1. Oh wait, it was $1.25 because the dollar store isn't $1 anymore. Everything is $1.25 now. So that little bit is what I did on this planner. You guys, this is slicker than the potato chip bag and it's slicker than this thing I paid too much money for. This is way slicker and stiffer, so I think all I need to do is kind of anchor it down pretty well, and this is going to be that's going to be my thing. I love it. I know, I promised I was done, but I thought I was putting this away and getting ready to go download the clips onto the computer so I can edit. And I thought, well, shoot, I might as well just test this theory out and just go ahead and flip this bag over and try it. So I'm gonna find another place on this thing to do a little demo. Where's my Twizzlers? So give me a minute and I'll show you. Well, we'll both find out. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. But okay, so then we put the presser foot down, put the gloves on. You gotta have some gloves, guys, unless you have a little embroidery frame that you're using or something to push your fabric around in, which I don't, but you gotta be able to do this. So do I have you on record? Yeah. Okay, I thought since this this side seems to be slicker than the inside, and it's not quite as reflective, I thought, well, shoot, we might as well just try this out. You know, I just racked my brain trying to think of things that would be, got a little stuck on the edge there. I just was trying so hard to think of things that would be slick, and this was one of them. These potatoes. Thank you, a very special thanks to Corinne, who is in my quilting group, for bringing me all these potato chip bags. This is very slick. This outside of this potato chip bag is, I mean, and that is like, if you eat potato chips, that is no cost. That is recycling something that would go to the dump otherwise. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.